Mike at it.
Hey, Mike.
You know, that word consummated, the first time I read that, it showed me I came in with a certain set of definitions for words, and the only thing I had ever heard that word used is two people get married and they go in the hotel room and they consummate their marriage. And if that's the only definition I had, I was like, this guy's whacked out. What is he talking about? That's why a definition, a dictionary has become very helpful for me. And it really helped with that statement because it's not talking about confession of my shortcomings, self-searching, leveling my pride. This process requires to consummate, to start the process like it started the marriage, to officially start it. The word consummate means to end something. When I looked it up in the dictionary, it said to bring something to a conclusion or a state of perfection. Now, I found that to be very interesting. Because we're not supposed to talk about perfection. And what is the conclusion that he's talking about? He's saying there's certain things you do and you can get what we're here to get. That's what he's saying. And what we're here to get is that position of neutrality. It talks about it later on as 10, 11, and 12 starts on page 85 and 85, top of 85. It talks about this position of neutrality, safe and protected. I haven't sworn off. It's just been given to me without any thought. In a moment of temptation, a great revulsion rises up in me. And the reason I'm mentioning it is not for a big book study. It's because I see a lot of newcomers in here and I can see what can happen. See, because you think, well, fuck, I just got to the halfway house and hell, I don't want to drink today. I don't want to get high. I must have it. It must be consummated. Miraculously, right? Because if that's the result of the steps, and I feel their way right now, something must have happened and I can just bypass all that shit. Well, that must be what people think because 95 and 100 don't work the steps. So they think by not wanting to drink on a certain day, the miracle has happened. But it hasn't. It's an illusion, right? Just like an illusion, somebody talked about working out. I was, the doctor told me I was obese back in March. Scared the shit out of me, so I ended up losing 30 pounds in 12 weeks. So, but that night he told me that shit. I went home and I'm seeing the insanities on the late night TV and the P90Xs and all that, and there was the 1-800 to dial to get the CDs. And it was so weird. The moment I called the 1-800 number, I had the curious feeling that I was fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know? I was on the right track. I just ordered the CDs. And you can understand that because you've probably been there in some kind of, because I've started so many things and felt good about it. But I didn't finish it. And it's just like Fred in our book on 42. He talks about the curious feeling that the drink problem had been removed came strongly. Just the moment I made up my mind to go through with the process, this curious feeling came. Just the moment I made up my mind to call that 1-800, the curious feeling that I was no longer obese. But it wasn't real. Just like in Fred in the book, it wasn't real. It said the curious feeling came strongly as it in fact proved to be. Now they squished feeling and fact in the same sentence, but that's not where they live. Feelings aren't facts. The proof is in the process. He had a curious feeling, but he backed it up with the action. That's what the topic page 25 talked about. Self-searching, leveling of my pride, confession of my shortcomings. That's basically another way of wording the 4 through 9, basically. It took those actions to make it real. Otherwise, it's an illusion. So if I'm new and I'm in the halfway house or I'm wherever I'm at and I'm thinking, well, I don't want to use today, the miracle must have happened. Well, shit, you're just like me ordering them CDs. I was still a fat tub of shit. And Fred was fixing to get fucking drunk just because he thought it was over. It wasn't over. What makes it over, what makes me on 85 and it be real and not an illusion is the action I take up to there. Otherwise, it's just a feeling. See, because I can get lulled into a false sense of security by that wonderful feeling. That wonderful feeling when I dialed the 1-800 number. The wonderful feeling that I've started something great. I feel wonderful about it. Let's go. And then tomorrow, I've forgotten about how serious I was. This is a daily basis thing of suiting up and showing up and doing these things. And somebody talked about it, and it's a military analogy. These people that are in the military, they do all this training, and they're going, why the fuck am I doing all this training? Well, come in the wet-ass hour, you want it to come natural to you. In an instant, you've been trained, and the training comes to bear. You may never use the training. There's cops that have been on the beat that have never pulled their gun, but they've gone through the training. So it takes going through this training. I mean, I find it very rarely that I'm in a moment of temptation because my dumb ass don't go back in the crack house to see how my friends are. I've been given some good common sense by these steps. I don't want fuckers from my past working with me next to the work. I think your first thought was right. Fuck him. You know, sometimes self-preservation needs to kick in. And like N.A. talks about, my thoughts need to be on my new associations. That means I need to be on people who are working a program, who are safe, and I'm goddamn sure they don't have no dope either to pull out on me or stick under my fucking seat in my car. And I've seen it all happen here. I've grown up here. I've seen all manner and means of malfeasance. And the machinations are fucking mind-boggling because we are cunning, baffling, and powerful off the sauce. And most people in the program live one offer away from oblivion. That means I need to stay around safe people. And I need to go through my training. Because even though I may not want to drink today, it may in fact be an illusion. And I want to make that illusion real. I've had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, and I'll pass.
Thank you for sharing.